Dave,
Marco?
how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Good.
You're good.
Yeah, good is...
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm happy to hear for you. That's
Yourself?
such great news. I am as well. I'm also good.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's a good part. That's a good threshold for
That's
us.
fantastic. That's as good as it gets. Now, Dave, today we're doing the black and white review.
Yes. So excited because we ended up pretty on the upward trajectory at the end, so it was good.
Thankfully.
It was a very low bar at the beginning.
It was. Okay. Firstly, before we dive into a little bit more of the data, if you will, what are your impressions, thoughts on the series as a whole?
As a whole,
Yeah.
Can we just ignore the first two sets in this series?
We can, yes.
Okay, then it's good. It's awesome.
Okay.
Really
The
awesome.
whole thing?
Majority of it.
The majority of it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just curious to get your thoughts before we look at the numbers exactly, just to see if it was very much, if there's a recency bias, because obviously last week we finished with Legendary Treasures, the last set of the series, came in at number one. Comfortably.
Yeah. Well, just picked.
Yes, what was there before? Platinum.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you think it was... Okay, what about this? Here's a better question for you. In terms of the series that we've seen so far, how does it rank? This being, I think, the 6th or 7th.
I mean, it's hard to... That's hard. That's a hard question because as each series has been released, they've introduced something new.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've added something. Like in this one, we had full arts, half arts.
Yeah.
And the 2 gold cards.
Yes.
Random gold cards. And things like that. So you can't really compare it with the older series because they didn't have those kind of designs and styles.
But does that make it better then? That they've got something new, something interesting?
Potentially. I mean, you always want a company to kind of innovate as they progress, right?
Oh, for sure.
So...
I think Pokemon's been pretty good
Oh,
with that.
100%.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing the right thing as, well, obviously 25 years later, they're killing it.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing something right. And so I would say, yes, it is a really good series because they have improved on it and they just kept doing it.
Okay, cool. Let's go and have a look then, shall we, at the numbers.
Okay.
So these are the averages of the previous sets. So obviously, added in black and white down the bottom. So it actually comes in
3rd.
Yeah.
So far.
Out of, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 7, I think. Am I counting it right? 6. 6. So it's about halfway through the pack.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, which it comfortably beats out Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Wizards of the Coast sets were more nostalgia.
For the most part, yeah, I'd agree.
Bias.
Definitely. Then we have in 5th place the the Diamond and Pearl
Diamond and
series.
Pearl, yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. It was a bit of a... It wasn't bad, but it was kind of like... You had some not so good sets.
Yeah, agreed. Alright, cool. And then in 4th place is the EX series, which I think is surprising.
That's true.
But maybe it comes back to what you said, there's more innovation, there's more freedom perhaps as well with the art styles.
That's true. Yeah.
The illustrators had.
Yeah, different,
And then it comes black and white in 3rd overall. It's not too bad.
Okay.
And then comfortably out, in 2nd, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which I really liked. You didn't love a lot of those.
No, I didn't.
Up close cards.
Yeah.
And then
Platinum.
Yeah, killing it, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. So we move on then. The overall, the average of
All
the
6
series, is
So
3.655. So it's above average, which
Okay.
makes sense. In 3rd, just above the halfway mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Easy. The scores by set, this is a bit of a breakdown. I think...
Look how low that black and white first 2 sets were.
Yeah.
Even the 3rd one was not that much better.
It wasn't really. So it definitely had an upwards trajectory. You want to say the first 2, maybe even the 3 are outliers because they are very much down there. Anyway, it's an interesting image, this, or depiction of the sets.
Yeah, that's a good representation of it. Like, you can visualize a bit of this, right?
That was the aim. Glad it
Yeah.
works. And then here we have it with the weighted average by every set. So you can see that massive valley
Yeah, that
at the
didn't
start of
help.
black and white.
That did not help.
Definitely not. I mean, that's the Marianas Trench, basically. That is very low. And then it's also topped off, you have the two peaks. You have Platinum and Legendary Treasures, which hit above 5.
Yeah.
Nothing's hit 6 yet.
No. I think we will get there eventually. Like, this was close. Legendary Treasures was not far off.
Yeah.
6.
I think once you start getting into the more, like, even the Scarlet and Violet era, when you have the trainer galleries and etc.,
yes.
that'll hit it. But anyway, that's a while away, and we don't have those sets yet, so we might never know.
Working towards it, maybe.
Winning the lottery. Okay, easy. The leaderboard, this is the black and white leaderboard. So these are the 11 sets, and it's interesting because it takes both first and last place.
Okay, yeah.
And that's obviously on the overall set,
Yeah.
overall leaderboard, which we'll have a look at in a moment. But yeah, Legendary Treasures comfortably out, or as you said, just out ahead of Platinum, but still those two are the outliers. And then down the bottom, Black and White and Emergent Powers, disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, at least Emergent Powers got into a 2.
Yeah, just about. And the top 4. I mean, the top 4 were pretty good. I think they're 4.6 above is.
No, will be worth collecting.
I think so. I think that's a relatively good number. Yeah, thank you. That'll do. Okay. Any other notes here? Does that feel like more or less the right order from memory?
Yeah, I think so.
They had the Plasma Storm. I was a bit disappointed by, considering the other two Plasma sets I thought were really good.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
the overall leaderboard, just to put everything in place. So, as we say, they're the top 2 Legendary Treasures and Platinum. And then you have it's 8, 9, and 10 are all black and white series.
Yes, in a row.
Pretty good.
They did really well towards the end.
Yeah. And then they're sort of scattered throughout. Actually, there's Boundaries Crossed in this in 16th. And Dark Explorers 21, 24, and 25 are also there. I think it's a fairly good mix of sets and where they sit.
Yep, no, that's true. But they mostly sit, I guess, within the top 30.
Yeah, I'd say that's
bar
fair.
the 3.
Bar these, yeah. Well, so Emerging Powers Black and White are there, and then we'll go back a page to Noble Victories, 48. So, yeah, that's quite low.
So previously we had, Neo Genesis in last place at 2.3.
Yeah.
And we thought that was going to be hard to beat.
We did think that.
Apparently Black and White didn't think so.
So to hold my beer. Yeah, okay, cool. Shall we go and have a look at some cards?
Yes,
I've got a few highlights for you. So the reason I've got this out, number one is because I think it's quite a pretty card.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the critiques that we had quite a bit was with the holos from this series.
The holo style.
Yeah.
The lines.
Holos, yeah.
Yeah.
And the issue is always that they kind of, well, not for every single one. Sometimes it worked well.
Correct, yes.
But quite often it would sort of take away from the detail in the background. And I thought this would be a nice card number one to look at, but also to highlight that. Because that's the normal holo, and this is the reverse. And you just...
So much better.
Right? Like, there's so much more detail in that. And it's a shame they couldn't make it work better.
I mean, they just didn't need that many lines, or choose a different pattern.
That's a strange style, hey?
Yeah. Honestly, with this whole Black and White series, my main gripe was with the holo.
Yeah.
I hated it.
But that's fair. Look, it just didn't really work most of the time. Mm-hmm. It either added nothing or detracted from the card.
Correct.
Occasionally it would add something to it or would tie in well. One other thing I wanted to draw attention to is the reverse holo patterns. I think these are pretty cool in these.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. You get different ones throughout the different series. But yeah, I think that's
a nice touch.
Yeah. Adds to it. Definitely makes it cooler. Still, I don't think as good as the EX series where the reverse holos actually just had this is a holo.
Okay, yep.
I really, really enjoyed that. And obviously they had the logo in the EX series as well, but anyway. Okay, so that was our first thing I wanted to highlight. Then we'll move on to some cards which I've flipped through all the sets, and there were some that we've talked about that I thought were really cool.
I mean, look at it.
Grab the eye.
It's Eradicate.
Yep.
We don't really have high hopes for Eradicate cards, but this one blew us away. Like, it was crazy. The details, the style, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I'd say the colours are probably even a little bit more vibrant in person. But yeah, they're very, very nice. Great style, great card, everything.
It was a buy game?
So this is again one of those...
Naoki...
Oh, are you going to play ball today?
No.
It is by Naoki Saito, who I highlighted, I think, as well last week from memory. Had a few good cards in Legendary Treasures. Then I love this Magikarp.
Oh, yes.
This is from Legendary Treasures from last week. Midori Harada.
Yeah.
Just cool card.
Yeah, I love how, like, don't worry about the background, don't worry about the foreground, just cover the whole frame with Magikarps. You got a good card.
You really do, though. Like, sometimes something like that really works.
Yeah.
The next card, the next illustrator, more importantly, our favourite, I think, thus far. Again,
Seismitoad.
From last week, this is Hajime Kusajima.
Yes.
Just so cool.
Brilliantly drawn. Love the detail in it. The water droplets and the patterns in them is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. One thing I'll say is disappointing we didn't have more Kusajima in the series. Had a few.
It was good to see him back.
Yes.
Because I think it was Heart Gold, Soul Silver, he was not there at all.
Or Platinum. I don't even think he did Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two.
It's good to have him back.
Yes, agreed. Definitely missed him. Would like more in the future. We'll see what happens there. The next artist really took over from Kusajima in our minds as sort of his successor in some ways. And that is Kawaii.
Or, as I would say, Kiawe.
Whatever works. Cool. I mean, Scythers just seem to be cool cards most of the time.
It is a very cool looking Pokemon. Like, you're going to admit that, right? The sharp lines, aggression, sides. It's amazing.
But you can make it look average and you can make it look really cool like this. So you still have to do the work.
Yeah.
Some more Kawaii. Like, just had a look at these again. I thought these were really cool. That's the Empoleon and then Fire right next to it.
So I love how they've tied things together. It's very nice. And that style, right? Half underwater, half above water. It works so well when done well.
It's almost always done well. Right?
Yeah.
Don't really think it's being done badly. So yes, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kawaii style thrown into the mix with the colours. Is it brush strokes? What's the technique here?
I'm not entirely sure.
Watercolor? No, it's not watercolor.
No.
That's more Sui who does watercolor.
And also, to be fair, like, if these weren't rare cards, they would probably be the award winners.
It'd be very hard to beat them in that respect.
Yeah.
But you also want your rare cards to be good. So I'm glad that in some respect they are. Another one, this one I thought was very different. It must be through a water drop or something that we're looking at it, right?
I don't know, but yeah. Kawaii?
Yeah, Kawaii again.
Looks really cool. Not your typical visual drawing.
Definitely not. But yeah, this is from one of the plasma sets. And then I wanted to have a look. So I actually found that this artist started to blend in or have a very similar style to Kawaii.
Takita, yeah. We got a bit confused. Is it him? No, it's not. It's actually Takita.
And it had some really good cards. I think this Lopunny was one of the first exponents where we're like, oh, that looks like Kawaii, but it's not. And another one, Tangrowth.
Tangrowth, yeah. Do you have the reverse holo of this one? Is there a reverse holo?
There is a reverse holo on this. As to whether or not I have it, I have to check.
I would love to see the background.
We can have a look. I think I actually may. Oh, I definitely do, actually. I'll grab it right here.
Oh, okay. Hang tight.
I think it's going to be out long. I happen to have this folder.
But yeah, like, honestly, you just don't really know what's happening in the background there.
Yeah. So quickly as I can.
I'll
pop it down there.
That was fast. Okay, not much is actually going on, but you get a bit more of a sense of, the movement and... Alright, so it's kind of like a fisheye lens. Yeah. So you you understand it a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. And as you say, the cloud, I'd say assume they're clouds in the background. It gives us, you really get the artist impression more. You'd be somewhat annoyed almost that you've gone to this effort to put the detail in the background.
And they just kind of put lines over it and make it a bit shiny.
Right, thank you. Anyway, that's by the by. So those are sort of the artists that I wanted to highlight. There were some other great cards, obviously. I didn't bring out any of the award winners because we're going to have a look at them constantly.
I hope to see more of Takia. Takia, sorry.
Yeah. Agreed. Hopefully we will.
Yeah.
Now, next thing, these are Team Plasma cards, which I thought were really cool.
Yep.
Not all of them, but there were definitely some standouts.
Yeah. And they had that glow around it too.
Yes.
Something different.
I think that made the Pokemon stand out for sure. And we'll see that quite a few times. Again, this is on. I think the holo actually doesn't detract. It works quite well,
and the colors work really well. I love how in the Team Plasma cards they've got the Team Plasma shield there.
Yes,
that's a nice little touch.
Makes it much cooler. Even in the reverse holos, it looks really cool.
And then they changed it from the yellow borders to the blue borders.
Indeed, they did. Chandelure. This is a great card. It was a great card.
It was, yeah. And look, this one, because of the holo, it doesn't detract from the background because it's not the focal point of the card, right? It's the actual Pokemon itself.
Yeah.
So this works.
Yeah, agreed. Metagross, again, exactly as you just said, doesn't add to it, but doesn't detract either.
Yeah.
But it's nice that it's shiny, but don't need the lines. This Infernape, I think, is very cool too.
Yes.
That one jumps straight out. 5-band graphics.
Yeah, so they're like the studio or something, right?
We have to look that up.
Okay.
I would assume so.
Should I look that up?
Can do it afterwards in our little break. Then, I actually don't know if we mentioned this or even picked up on it necessarily, but the full arts, a lot of the full arts that we liked, I kept referring to it as this 80s style. A lot of them were actually the Team Plasma full arts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which, again, should probably have realised. This one...
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Yeah, it is the Team Plasma emblem there. They all have that Team Plasma. I think all of these ones that I'm about to show you have it. Yeah, and we really, really like these. Thought they were very cool. So, unusual we didn't pick that up. Or maybe not entirely surprising in our old age.
And we're mostly tired all the time.
What do you mean mostly? Definitely. All the time. Cool Genesect. Yeah, like the Palkia, the blues. I mean, the blues really make them stand out.
I think so. I think that's the whole point, right? You've got the blue borders, you've got the blue on the Plasma shield.
Yeah.
For this one, you get a bit more brown and red, but that's cool.
That's the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Still, it is what it is.
It works, though. Thank goodness.
Yeah, great cards.
That's cool.
Deoxys. Tornadus. Yeah. So they were just favorites out of those?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's why we're here. What?
Genesect?
Very.
And the Dialga, I think. Or the Thundurus.
Thundurus, that one there.
It is hard.
Yeah, they're all.
It's really hard.
They're all great cards.
Yeah. See, like, I would love to collect every single one of those cards.
I'm stopping you. Just go for it. I encourage you.
This is stopping me.
Yeah. If only life wasn't so expensive. Okay. Actually, yes, I think I like the Thundurus. Those yellow highlights make it.
Yeah,
jump
and
out.
then like the arm right in front of you kind of thing.
Alright, easy. I thought I'd just bring those up. I also want to show, you mentioned it briefly before, the 2 gold cards, just a quick review of those. So I said that these are the only ones that they have. They are more in the future. I remember with Sword and Shield, they definitely have a couple.
Right.
But obviously it's unique to this point.
Mm.
Only ones in black and white.
And then you don't see them for a very long time too.
Not that I can think of, although they'll rock up in XY base next week, I'm sure. Yeah. Thoughts on these again?
So, very cool concept, very cool idea. The only thing I don't like about it is if you don't get it on the right angle, you actually can't really see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really need to like have good lighting and kind of...
But they're secret cards, so...
is that the whole point? Like, make them like barely visible because they're secret
It
cards?
was an awful joke. But maybe there is some logic to it. I don't know.
No, it's cool though. Like, honestly, if you pulled this, you'd be stoked.
Absolutely. Can you imagine mint one of these straight out of the pack? Yeah.
Oh, gold!
Yes, my like 12-year-old self wouldn't know what to do. Freak out. Okay, but cool concept. Glad they're not in every set.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's a good way to put it.
I mean, that kind of helps make it worth more in a sense. Like, they're not common. Like, they're once in a while you get them kind of thing. And so they're, in a sense, they're rarer.
Definitely.
Right?
And it's nice they were in the Legendary Treasures, which was the sort of the special set there. Next, I want to have a look at some cards that weren't epic. Actually,
no, wait. T4? No.
No, not even that necessarily. So these ones are... Actually, I remember why I have these here, because you actually touched on it once again without realising. The introduction of the half arts and full arts. So let's actually not even start with one of those. I just really like this card.
That was a cool Rayquaza.
This was one of the tier 4
awesome.
ones, yeah. And I think a lot of these are probably tier 4 as well. That kind of nearly great, nearly epic, but not quite. This Registeel touching on the half art. It's coming out. It could have been epic.
Could have. But we just couldn't justify putting it into epic because it's not exactly doing a move that we can see. Yes, it could be punching, but it doesn't tie in with the moves or anything. Could be protect charge.
It's hard to say.
Not sure,
It's
right?
got to be obvious.
It needs to be really obvious.
Yeah, and it's also quite in your face. You sort of lose... Well, actually, I wouldn't even think that takes points away from it. I quite like that.
Yeah.
We have this Zapdos EX.
The lightning that goes all the way around the borders.
Yeah, so
the
cool.
shading, the shadows. It's done so well.
Just not quite epic. But, again, to highlight what you talked about, the half arts, they've just made things really interesting.
Yeah.
Not every single one was a great card.
No.
The majority, I'd say, were. And some other full arts.
Yeah, this was cool. I really like the gold outline around the Pokemon. Something different. Yeah.
Sorry, and some of these, I mean, this to me is just it's a beautiful, beautiful card.
This one, I think, captures the essence of her perfectly.
Is it?
The rainbow. It makes sense. The rainbow feathers.
How does it compare to the Heart Gold Soul Silver one, the 2-in-1?
Oh, that one. This captures the beauty of Ho-Oh. That one captures the wrath.
Yes, okay, I like that. Yeah.
Because they're fighting each other, basically, or kind of.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, different.
And that one was something special. This is also as beautiful. You've already touched on everything. Rayquaza.
Yes. I think the fire in the back, the pose that it's got, the spiraling up kind of thing, is really nice. Framed nicely, well drawn.
And the dragon type, I actually can't even tell you if we see that again in XY, because it only had a shortish appearance, dragon type, from memory. We'll see next week.
And then it comes back later on, right?
Do you know if it does?
Yeah, it does. Like the later sets have them.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I think they just stick around, don't they?
I didn't think they did. I thought they got rid of them for a while. I have to check.
This is the phase where I wasn't collecting, so I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, we'll find out next week.
Yeah, I guess we will. We have to. I thought they got rid of them at some point, but maybe not. Maybe they just never had the energies. That's what I'm thinking of. They had a special dragon type energy, but they never had it as a base energy like they do with the other ones.
Mew. Cute, beautiful, lovely colours.
Yeah.
The tail frames it so nicely too. It's lovely.
Yeah. Not much more to add there, but again, just highlighting that the impact that full arts have. This is one of the secret rares, which I just wanted to highlight one more time. Another Rayquaza. I think I mentioned this before. Rayquaza, Gyarados, Charizard, obviously, but I think probably the 3 most collectible Pokemon in terms of cards.
I think so. They're obviously some of the more popular cards in popular Pokemon, so they do make quite a fair few cards for them. So you have more choice and variety to kind of collect.
And I can hear the Blastoise fans just screaming out for more.
Yeah, no, they do. They really need more Blastoise ones, like good ones.
Yeah.
And if Venusaur. You're not a big fan, but
No, I agree with you though. There are some very cool Venusaur ones out there, which they'll come down
later
the line.
on, yeah.
I know there's some of the there's an XY promo which is fantastic of both Venusaur and Blastoise. Yeah.
This I appreciate, this secret rares in the early sets, because there's only a few of them.
In black and white early sets, or the
Or any like black and white and previously, right?
Yes.
There's only like maybe at most 5.
yeah,
I guess, off the top of my head. Whereas nowadays you have many secret rares
yeah, it's
that
ridiculous.
are like basically another set by themselves, essentially.
Agreed.
Which is insane.
I mean, I think the most these had was 5, as you
Hmm.
say. Maybe a 6 somewhere.
Maybe.
But anyway. Alright, and then lastly, I just wanted to highlight one more time. This wasn't epic, so I kind of cheated a little bit. But it was like top 2 card for me.
Yeah. Well, you said top card ever.
That was the EX Holland Phantoms
Right.
Gyarados. It's tied with that.
Yeah.
It just hits all the right notes.
Colors, doing a move, pose, everything just works.
Yeah.
And this is the rare occasion where the holo does not detract from it at all.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see this in a Cosmos. I would have liked to have seen this in a Cosmos Holo. Not going to happen, but yeah, massive fan of this.
Any card makers out there? Try.
Has to be official. Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in terms of the black and white review. Is there anything else? Last thoughts on the series?
I mean, I guess last thoughts is it was a great introduction to half arts and full arts. Especially the Team Plasma ones, they were great. So even if you didn't want to complete a full set, there are definitely a lot of very cool and very rare cards that are worthy to collect.
Yeah,
individually, I guess.
Okay, easy.
Mm.
And then moving on to the next series, which is XY, which will start next week. What are you hoping to see in that?
XY. So XY was when Macca's started having these
They definitely
cards
have
with
them.
toys in those Happy Meals, right?
And they had that with black and white.
Yeah,
already.
in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is when like a lot of people our age started slowly getting back into it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there'll be a bit of nostalgia. X and Y, the game. I don't know. I did finish it.
Yeah.
Don't think I quite enjoyed it as much.
Interesting.
But that's probably me getting older.
Potentially, but you like it nowadays?
Well, the new ones are a bit more different.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. I haven't gone through them in any detail, so I wouldn't say I'm going into them completely blind either. But I am excited. I think there will be interesting things. They definitely have some sets which introduce new cards.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, it can be. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's the break cards, I think, if you know what that is. If you don't worry.
I
about
don't.
it.
I don't. Okay.
But yeah, what I really want to see is more of this, just cool designs in the card. Cool illustrations is probably the better word. Because I think, and also I want that from the beginning.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I don't want another base set to be bad.
Yeah.
I want it to start off good.
Yeah.
And up from there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because not every series has had it, but most of them have, where it kind of trails off like that.
Yeah.
We are going to do actually another video before XY, which is a re-review of the base set.
Yes. I mean, I think we do need to do that because it's been so long since we did it. Maybe our opinions might change or have changed.
Oh, well, okay. Do you think it'll be worse because now we have higher standards, or do you think we'll let the nostalgia...
I think if we try our best to remain super objective, it would probably rank a bit worse than before.
I'd say so too. But we'll find out and get that video up as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dave, as always, thank you for your time and effort in going through 11 sets of black and white.
Likewise.
It's been fun, and hopefully XY holds better things for us.
Fingers crossed.
And you guys do.
Yes.
Alright, we will catch you next week for re-review and also
XY.
XY.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.